Hello, everybody. How are you? Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a safe 4th of July. And for those of you who got to take the entire, what would it be, 4 days? Congratulations. Anyway, thank you, Lori, for allowing me to spend some time today sharing with our incredible group of advocates. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the summit. Some of you are going to call it conventions, others will call it conference, but you get it. You know, the name that you call it really isn't important. I know some of you have been to conventions in the past, and some of you are brand new to the idea. I also realize that there's been a lot of mentions about this recently, you know, a lot of chatter going on about Summit. And the reason for that is because it's very important. It's of paramount importance to your business. Now, if you're new to direct selling, you might be thinking things like, you know, gosh, should I go to Summit? Or, I don't know if I want to take the time to go. Or possibly, you know, this is going to cost me quite a bit of money and I'm not really sure about it. Or, you know, maybe you've been in direct selling for quite some time and your mindset is more like, there ain't no possible way I am ever going to miss a convention. So I'm going to share a couple of ideas that I think are really important based around convention. You know, whether you're brand new or maybe you've been involved a while, the importance of the summit is really designed to do a couple of things. Now, first and foremost, going to the summit is really important because you are the CEO, right? So let's say you're going to buy a bakery or a hardware business. First of all, the cost to get into those businesses would be considerably more than becoming an advocate with Green Compass. But the chances are good that there's going to be conventions for those types of businesses as well. Now, at those conventions, they're going to have people that built the #1 franchise, and they'll have training and possibly workshops, and they're going to have things at the convention that would advance your career, right? And so one of the most important things in your business, if you really truly are the CEO of your business, whether you do it as a part-time gig or a full-time gig, whether you're building like in the little 10-minute cracks of time throughout your day, or if you're spending many hours a day working your business, when you go to convention, you show up as the CEO of your business, right? At whatever level you want that business to be. And again, whether it's part-time business or a full-time business, every CEO shows up to their conference. And here's the thing. Conference does a couple of things from a CEO perspective, right? So first, if you've ever worked for corporate, what you know is that you have a budget, you have a P&L, and you know what you can do and you know what you can spend. Now, the unfortunate thing is that a lot of times when we're in direct selling and network marketing, we're not thinking about conference from an advancement perspective. But we really do want to be like the CEO of our business, and we really do want to make sure that we're spending our money wisely. Now, something I'm going to tell you is that when I joined my last network marketing company, I was beyond broke, right? We had 8 children, and my husband at the time had been laid off, and unfortunately, he wasn't really motivated to go out and look for a job. I was homeschooling, and money was more than tight. Money was pretty much non-existent, and here's what I did. I created an eBay account, and I had to sell items on eBay just to buy my kit and get my business started, right? So the reality was this. I literally could not afford to sit around and wait for this business to work itself. I had to get right to work. And believe me, I am definitely not the lady who would throw my kit under the bed. I got to work right away, and I started making a little bit of money, and I was doing everything in my power to make it happen. Then it happened. I get a call from the person that introduced me to the business, and guess what she told me? She told me I had to go to conference. Now, as a parent, I call that tough love, right? But she said, if I want this business to create the income that I desired, there was no question about it, I had to go. Now trust me, I completely thought she was bonkers. I scratched my head. I probably looked at her a bit cross-eyed like, wait a minute. You remember how broke I was when you asked me to join, right? And you remember how hard it was for me to even get the money to join, right? She said nothing, not one word. So back to eBay I went, and I sold enough items to buy my ticket, but that was just the beginning. I still had to get there, right? And where would I stay? So, the food part wasn't really important to me. I knew I could take a bucket of, or a container of peanut butter and a little jar of jelly and some bread. That part's not a big deal to me. Not glamorous, but that part, the food part, was the least of importance to me. Now you can imagine getting myself there would be truly the adventure of a lifetime. But my personality is I took charge and I pulled it together. So I had a friend that did a lot of traveling, and she gifted me enough miles to buy my ticket. And I slept on the couch in a room with 4 strangers. Well, I mean, not strangers in the sense that I didn't go into the hotel and knock on a door and go, "Hey, can I sleep on your couch?" No. They were in the business, and I didn't meet them until I got to conference and we were sharing a room. And, many of you may do that with this conference, and it's not a big deal, but it was definitely way, way outside my comfort zone. But it turned out to be the single best decision and most pivotal moments in my career, honestly, because, well, at least for me, well, you know what I mean. You just started your business and you're not getting a return on your investment yet. But honestly, you're not going to get that lift unless you're willing to both invest your time and your money. Because remember, it is a business. So you're going to have to treat it that way. And you're going to have to be willing to invest time and money in order to make money. It's just the nature of the business. So what we are is very lucky in network marketing, right? We don't have to invest a lot. It doesn't cost a lot versus the hundreds of thousands of dollars to start a traditional brick and mortar business. And going to conference once or twice a year is really a great use of your time if it's something that you plan to build like a business. So I remember sitting at that first conference, and I'm sure it was because I worked really hard to get there. But you know what? I showed up a little bit differently. Anytime you have to sacrifice and get outside your comfort zone to have something, you just show up differently, right? So another thing I'll share about going to conference that's so important from a CEO perspective is this. A lot of times when we think about our business, or at least I do, we think about it a little emotionally, right? And so we just make a decision to do whatever it takes to get there. And it's a life changer. Although you could also make an emotional decision not to go, and that could be a life changer as well. So here's what happens. Oftentimes we get a little crazy in the head. Hopefully I'm not the only one that relates to that. But you do. You allow yourself to have those thoughts, where you allow yourself to really get kind of cray-cray. And I guess that's a good place for some advice. Don't get cray-cray, people. Don't get cray-cray at all, okay? But, you allow yourself to start thinking about all the no's and all the things people say and all the rebuttals and all the questions you might not be able to answer and all the no-shows. But you know what happens when you go to conference? All the cray-cray that you've got going on, it gets out of your head. It's true. It does. Why do you think that is? Well, it's because you're surrounded by people who think just like you do about being an entrepreneur, right? They're building their business. They're building it around their why. They're building their dream. They're having a ton of fun. And what ultimately starts to happen is that belief that was initially residing in your head moves to your heart. And once it's in your heart, it becomes unshakable. And the no's and the people who call you product crazy or, whatever else, doesn't really matter. It won't matter at all. Because believe it or not, there's actually been studies done on the power of a conference. And what they found is that people who actually show up to a conference, not just once, but they do it consistently, right? Every year they show up, is that it gives your business a whole new energy. You feel more energized, you have a reborn belief in your business, and attending conference will actually expedite your business by 6 months to a year compared to people who don't go. How's that? I mean, how would it be to attend a conference and boom, your business just gets launched into six months from today or a year from today? Imagine that. I mean, this conference, we've got new products being announced, which means you're probably going to get to see them, feel them, touch them. You may be able to buy some and take them home. So what that does is it actually solidifies our beliefs, and it gives us a whole new renewed clarity and excitement about our business. Now, another thing is this. Although conference will be fun and you will love meeting new people and leaders and seeing your team members, it's important to know that you're at conference to work. And so it's really important that you're present while you're there. It's also important to set your intentions. What are your intentions? Be thinking about what goals you have as far as how it pertains to your business, right? You want to ask yourself, if I go to conference, how will I know it's been a good conference? When I leave there, will it have been a good one because I'm really excited or I have a better belief on things? I mean, those are really great, right? But what are the things you need to get out of convention? You need to ask yourself that. Is there an area of development that you need to work on? I mean, maybe I'm not strong at opportunity meetings or three-way calls. Well, then what you really need to do is be present when they're talking about opportunity meetings or three-way calls. Or maybe you're really good at opportunity meetings, but nobody's showing up to them. So you need to make sure you're listening when they're teaching tips about those areas, right? So, you may also be really good at getting retail customers, but you struggle about building your business with advocates. You really want to be there, paying attention, being present, and being the CEO of your business. It's also important before conference to be thinking about your goals of conference. Like, what do you need to learn? Who do you need to talk with? I mean, make a list of the people you feel it's really important to meet or introduce yourself to, right? It's easy to go hang around with the people that you already know and have fun with them, but you need to be aware and make it a goal to meet, for example, 2 to 4 people before the session begins, and maybe 2 to 4 people during the break, and then at least 2 to 4 people after the session ends. You're going to want to spend time with your upline, and you're going to want to make it a priority to spend time and meet people that are having success, and they can help influence you and help mentor you in success, okay? So we already know that we've got new products being launched at the summit. So what you're going to want to also do is make a list of the people that you can share the new products with. And that means building not only on customers you currently have, but adding new ones and new advocates, right? So this is such an important time, and especially as you start making the decision to run your business like a CEO, just to use the notes that you've taken on all that stuff and really apply them. Now, I realize there's going to be some that aren't going to be able to make it to conference, right? This part's going to be really important for you to understand. The only conference that you regret not going to is the one you didn't go to, right? You're going to hear all the wonderful chatter from the people that went. You're going to see pictures of people, and you're going to wish you were there. And you're going to wish you had gone. But listen, I'm not here to bash you. I completely get it. Maybe you're struggling like I was financially. Maybe you have some really important things going on, and you're just not going to be able to make it. It happens. But here's what I'd say. At the end of the day, when you start thinking about convention for next year, you need to start thinking about next year's convention now, today, right? So that does a couple of things. So if you know it's going to cost you $1,000 between registration, flight, food, hotel, you now have the ability to break that cost down over a 12-month period of time. That's going to be about the commission for one new advocate a month. Can you do that? Seems pretty doable to me. I think you can. Put that money away, and next year's convention is paid for, right? If we expect to get results of any measure, we've got to start thinking about how we invest in our business. And a very important aspect of that is conference. Very important. You've got development, growth, books, products, team building. All of those are important. But we also have to be smart about it, because we don't want to acquire debt in building our business, right? So becoming the CEO of your business means making smart investments of time and money. And it also means making the most out of those investments. So get your business out of your head. Get out of that cray-cray, right? Move it into your heart and be the best CEO by writing down your intentions and take every step necessary to gain the success you desire. Now, hopefully everybody's gleaned a little bit out of this call to hopefully propel your business into tremendous success. I would have no desire other than that for you. I'm grateful that you allowed me to share with you tonight, and thank you again, Lori, for allowing me to share what's on my heart. I'll see you all in 19 days.